Am I going with the Carolina Panthers, who have a ton of great players that we could choose from, with a few quarterbacks in place, Baker Mayfield in that offense with LaVisca, DJ Moore, and then on the defensive side of the ball, we got Brian Burns, J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, or we could go with the Texans. We have Laramie Tunzel, Brandon Cooks, Damian Pierce, Davis Mills, Derek Stingley. The decision is mine to make. And who I go with, I'm not sure. But today I will be revealing who I will be taking over as at the end of the season in 2024 or 2023 and hopefully 2024, where I will begin my head coaching career for the... What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Panthers franchise, where yes, I've chosen the Panthers over the Texans. I'm taking over for interim head coach Steve Wilks. The decision was between the roster and also the fact that, look, I asked the Panthers or the Texans if I could be the GM as well. The Panthers were willing to do it. They were willing to let me make staff moves, roster decisions, personnel decisions, and so I went with the Panthers. We did end up going 8-9. This is a randomly generated rookie class. I put auto scouting on for the first year because I am just now taking over, and within a first year of taking over, you really probably are not going to be able to do that great in the draft, just because, man, you're going to have to retool. And sure, you've got some of your scouts, will return, some of your personnel, players, things of that nature, but we're taking over. This is the storyline that we're going to be going with. As for the team itself, I am going to be hiring new coordinators. Coming off a Super Bowl win as a coordinator for, I believe, the Dallas Cowboys won in this sim. So that's what we're going with. I'm going to be looking for coordinators that are in trees that are very successful head coaches or coordinators. So as for our offensive coordinator, I would almost like to go with Justin King because he's in that Kevin O'Connell system and it's very high wide receiver oriented. So I'm going to go with them. Justin King is going to be our OC for the year. And then DC, I'd like to bring in somebody that maybe runs a 3-4. Under the McVay tree, Scott Anderson will be our guy. No questions asked. I love the 3-4, like what he brings to the table. So this is going to be our staff for the year. And then obviously this team has a lot that needs to be addressed. That's very apparent. So I think really what we need to do is we need to focus on trading up in the draft for players that could be decent, and then also moving some players that we just don't see the need for. And again, I'm making the decisions. I will probably trade some players that you may not want me to trade, but the matter of the fact is this is my team. We're gonna have to rebuild it, and then in next offseason I would like you guys to have a decision in the process of picking players. Free agency, I don't think this is a very good class necessarily. And to get to where we want, I would have to upgrade all of these and get the halfback. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go ahead and probably just add one more to after-school tutoring. And I do think we'll make some moves in the draft. I don't know where we stand. We obviously probably have a mid-round pick going 8 and 9. This team really clutched up towards the end, so that really sucks for us. And as we move into next week, we'll check out the re-sign players. I think for me, I'm not going to re-sign anybody. I don't think there's anybody worth re-signing, so why waste the money re-signing them, right? I do want to check out the draft class a little bit, talk through it with you guys. Scouts, I left normal. I will clear them for the next class, depending on what the strengths are to that class. You guys won't see that. I'll address it in probably a next video. But Brandon Knight, or Brady Knight, looks to be pretty decent. He is a round 1 talent. He is not a top 5 talent from Jackson State. I beg to differ. This might be a generational QB. How is this guy not top 5? That makes no sense to me. Now this corner, Broderick Bernard, looks to be pretty good as well. This looks like a strong QB class. I don't think Broderick Bernard is actually as good as they think he is. So he is a 2 to 3. But I think getting our franchise quarterback in the first year, I mean, that would be pretty nice. I don't think tackle is what I'll be going with. That just doesn't seem very Babineau. Darren Babineau. That's awesome. What an awesome name. Malik Porter. Obviously Christian McCaffrey not on this team. There's some guys here that I think we could definitely take a chance on and hit. This looks to be a decent class, in my opinion. Quarterback down the board in case we don't get our guy. Blackshear, we do have a running back named Blackshear on the roster currently. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of safeties in this draft, which is awesome because I would like to rebuild this team in a sense that we play man coverage, and that's going to require a lot of great players. I realize that. Only 68 million cap, really for the guys that are here. I don't see us re-signing. We don't have a quarterback on the roster other than Matt Corral. I would not say I'm necessarily sold on Matt Corral staying here. So before we go into free agency, I'm going to make a couple roster moves because that just makes sense to me. I don't want to keep all these players. I don't necessarily have an attachment to them either, so I'll be back with a few moves. Alright, and the first move I have made is with the Seattle Seahawks. They have the number 1 pick and the number 3 pick in this draft. So they are able to move down, get a great linebacker in Shaq Thompson. Contract really wasn't fit with what I want for this team. We traded the 17th pick and then traded a 6th round pick to get this deal done. I think it made sense for both sides. Now we have the shot to get the QB of the future potentially for this team. I like that move. And then looking at the roster here, I don't think Shi Smith is a guy I want to build around necessarily or have on the team. A lot of depth guys here in Trey Nixon and Shi Smith. Gonna see if we can't get something for them or a player that could potentially make a difference on this team. And I just don't think that's plausible at the moment, so I'm not even gonna bother. I am gonna be trading Ian Thomas here. Good tight end, pretty cheap. He'll go and play somewhere. So really what I'm looking for, honestly, maybe Joshua Kelly in a 7th round pick, just to get maybe a decent player, a kicker, a punter maybe. Also, the Saints offering their 7th, which is pretty good with a couple depth players. I like that. So Saints get a good tight end. Taysom Hill probably leaving. Juwan Johnson leaving in free agency. Probably going to get signed somewhere. Pat Elflein. He's a 68 overall, 4.75 mil. Really can get younger here. Send a center to the Commanders who need one. We'll take that deal. Bring in a young guy. We're rebuilding. Commanders actually did pretty good this year. And then Austin Corbett, 9 mil. He could probably go somewhere and play. Some of these trades I'll look at and I won't accept based off of I don't think that it would happen. Nico Collins in a 3rd. Akeem Davis Gaither in a 4th. I think this is pretty realistic. building around Joe Burrow, giving us a 4th in the next draft. So we're going to bring in that linebacker, replace Shaq Thompson. Pretty much a no-brainer, honestly. That's not a hard deal to make. We'll continue to go through the offense. Moving off a big right tackle here. Again, going to send him to a contender probably. Or somebody that really covets O-line or needs O-line. Ramondre, I just don't think they would trade Ramondre. Now, the Texans really want O-line. Nico Collins is a prospect that could be decent. Eno Benjamin could find a role on this team. Draymond Jones would be a great edge rusher. They give Russell Wilson another tackle where they've struggled with right tackle. So Draymond Jones, I'm going to bring in. He probably is in contract year, but I like the player. I think he has a great chance to develop, and he's going to be one of our guys. Carl Granderson is making $3.98 million as a backup. That just does not sit well with me. Personally, I would rather have a pick and downgrade. The Seahawks are really trying to make moves. We'll take that 7th off their hands. Kind of a cap casualty. Get a worse player, but get a pick. We'll take that deal all day, any day. So Draymond Jones, make it $3.7 million. I don't mind that. I think he's pretty good. Frankie Louvu, I think, is a guy we'll probably try and keep for a year, see if he develops any. Damian Wilson, a little old for my liking, making $3.61 million. Think we could do better in free agency. So Giants looking to move off Kenny Golladay. That's a huge contract, so we will not be taking that deal. Really would just like to get him off our hands here. Bears want him. They lost Roquan. We get a center in return. Now the center might have a pretty hefty contract, but we'll take him. I want to build this defense differently. I don't think he fits that mantra that I'm bringing in. Akeem, I like him. I like Zach Bond as a depth player. Dante Jackson, as fast as he is, I've got my 2 starting corners here. I do maybe bring in a guy, but $10.6 million, clear up, sign a free agent, send him somewhere where maybe he can make a difference. We'll do that. Jalen Petrie, he's young. I don't hate that deal. Who could use a lockdown corner? Sam Cosmi would not get traded. Just a second-year tackle. Doesn't make sense. Tyler Algier doesn't make sense. Not really what I want as a running back. Tyus Bowser. Ravens love their corners. Tyus Bowser's pretty good. I just don't think that necessarily makes sense at this point. Let's check out Dante Jackson and maybe a pick or something. Throw in a couple picks. See if that can't sweeten the deal. The reason nobody wants him is because of his contract. Arnold Ebiketie. He's young, second-year player, and they're already giving up on him. Alright, the Texans really want to move Jalen Petrie. We're going to do that deal. He was alright for the Texans last year, but they get Derek Stingley, Dante Jackson, lockdown corners. Feel like that move makes somewhat of sense. As for the safeties, since we've got Petrie, I think Xavier Woods has to go. Petrie play the free safety. Jeremy Chin at the strong. Cameron Thomas in a 7th. John Ridgeway, a couple depth players in a 6th-round pick. I don't hate that deal. Ruckert, they just wouldn't give up on Ruckert at this point. It doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, this pick makes sense. They get a better guy. We get a 6 and a couple depth players. Fill out the roster a little bit more. Don't have to sign free agents. I like that deal. Like the prospects there too. So don't hate that deal whatsoever. And this is where it gets kind of interesting. So we've got some great players, obviously. We've traded some guys. Now, one of the first moves, coming up on contract, Yatir Gross-Matos, already 25. He's a star. Don't really see us re-signing him, so I'd like to get some value for him. And the Cardinals want to give us a fourth. I do like the prospect of Jelani Woods, but I don't think they would actually trade Jelani Woods. Cameron Thomas, just probably a cap casualty for them. But getting a fourth-round pick, potentially a guy, lineman we could take that we could develop, we're going to take that deal all day. And here comes all the unfavorable moves that I'm about to do. Derek Brown, 25, coming up on contract as well. Just another guy that I don't think I necessarily want to build around. I think he's replaceable. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this guy. Elijah Moore has kind of not been targeted for the Jets. Cesar Ruiz is there and a third. Wow, okay, that's actually a pretty good deal. Cesar Ruiz, I think he has a pretty big contract. And they drafted a guy last year. I'm going to take him on the third. I was thinking about that other deal, but I think that makes sense for both sides. Bring in a right guard. He's actually on his rookie contract probably towards the end. So, honestly, good for us. DJ Moore, making 20 mil. Just want to give him a chance to be good on a team. Not a whole lot of interest, to be honest with you, from anybody, really. The Patriots are interested in him. They don't necessarily have a receiver one. We could get a corner, get a depth running back. I like the idea of that. I don't want to make the 49ers any better than they are already. So we're going to go ahead, give the Patriots DJ Moore for Jack Jones, Pierre Strong. Just moving the contract away. And Brian Burns, superstar, great rusher. I just want to see value-wise what we could potentially get for him. We might have to look for an actual trade partner here, as the Texans want a left end. We could get maybe a couple first rounders and a second out of him. They don't even want to do that. What about a first and a second? So they're not as interested as I thought they might be. And I'm surprised. I'm surprised nobody wants a premier edge rusher. The Eagles have been kind of going all in. I still would like to move this contract off of us. A first and a second, that's almost a deal. What can we throw in to sweeten this deal? Move a fourth and move a fourth next year. It's almost a done deal, but I don't feel like we're necessarily getting the value back for him. Even though he is 16 mil, I think we're actually going to keep him for this year. I just don't feel like value-wise, what we be getting back for him is good at all. So now we've got money to spend in free agency, which is awesome. Now the thing is, are we going to take the quarterback? That is TBD. So actually, before I even check on this stuff, we should probably go check and see if we're going to take this quarterback. Because there is potentiality that I sign a quarterback. That could be a bridge quarterback. So let's make sure this is a guy we want. Okay, 5'11", Brady Knight. Standard over-the-top style motion from Jackson State. This guy's got to be generational, right? Did he participate in Pro Day? Okay, off-season free agency too. Okay. I mean, I think he's the pick. I really do. I think he's the pick here. So, as of now, I am probably going to take Brady Knight. Whether he has good development or not, I don't know. I feel like the stats are kind of telling. We'll know more in the second stage of free agency. Quarterback-wise, Daniel Jones would be fun to have, but he's not necessarily interested in us. Tyler Huntley could fight for a starting job here. I like the speed. I like the prospect. I'm going to see if Tyler Huntley will sign with us. He wants a 4-year. If we can knock down the money a little bit, that would be good. I think he'd be a good depth piece. He's not necessarily interested, guys. Garoppolo really wants to play for us. I don't really want him to play for us. Heineke would like to play for us. I don't think I necessarily want him. Wish Jordan Love wanted to play for us. I would honestly welcome him. Halfback wise, we could bring in Mostert maybe. Darrell Henderson, just not that fast. Rashad Penny, I don't know. I'm not necessarily interested in those guys. Wide receiver, the only person I would be interested in is Mecole Hardman because of the 97 speed. I would rather have him a little bit long term. I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and offer him a contract. I don't think we'll necessarily get him. Irv Smith Jr. is interested. We do have Tommy Tremble, but 86 speed, he really does want to play for us. I'd be willing to do a 4-year deal, cut down the money a little bit. And that's an okay offer. I think there's potential that he would join us. As for the O-line, Wyatt Davis doesn't want to play for us. That's disappointing. Terrence Steele. Jawan Taylor, I would like to send an offer to. I think he could be good. We'll offer him 4 years, but I want to cut down the money some. So he's a little bit interested in that contract. Now our last offer, it's got to be somebody that would want to play for us maybe. Stingley is just not the guy I want. Van Der Esch, just don't really want him. Rashad Penny wants to play for us. Honestly, I don't necessarily want him. As bad as that is. Could there be a middle linebacker here that we could take? Preferably somebody fast. Van Der Esch. Deion Jones. I wouldn't mind a 2-year deal with him. 90 speed. Honestly, I don't necessarily hate 3. I'm just curious. He might sign with us. So let's go ahead and advance. Well, let's see if we got anybody. Brady just didn't make sense, personally, for what I'm looking for in this team. Tyler Huntley, now getting a good offer, but we do get Mecole Hardman, 97 speed receiver. I think he'll be perfect for this offense. Tyler Huntley, not necessarily probably going to sign with us. He'll probably go start for the Colts. If the pro day stats for this quarterback aren't good, then we may have to pivot. And I'm thinking that he's going to be good. Alright. This will be telling whether or not he's actually who we think he is. He's not projected top 5, which is crazy. He's only projected round 1. So this might be an interesting draft. I mean, dude, he's got all elites. What was his pro day stuff? He ran a 4.39 as a quarterback. I mean, this is the guy of the future. And if he's normal dev, he's normal dev. Like, I think he's going to be a high overall. Like, I truly think he'll be in the upper 70s if he's not generational. Which I wouldn't put it past him being generational. I really wouldn't. We'll see what free agents are left. Tom Brady going to the Falcons. That is awesome. So we only got Mecole Hardman. Is Huntley still available? Huntley is not available anymore. Heineke as a backup, I don't hate, but I feel like I need a mentor. Andy Dalton as a mentor, I'll take him. Honestly, like if you'll just cut down the deal, bud, we'll take you in. I mean, he's a mentor. We'll take him. Halfback, I think I'm gonna end up drafting a guy. Honestly, there's just not anybody that I want necessarily. Tight end wise, again, nobody. We may be done. Will Hernandez could be a decent ad, but I don't think he's what we're looking for. Brandon Parker, he's just so slow. Is there a defensive tackle we could potentially get? Hargrave is here. That's pretty expensive, bud. I mean, I'm going to lowball him. And even then, that's a lot of money for a guy that's just okay. Linebacker-wise, we missed out on Deion Jones. So, kind of sucks. I would prefer not to get a guy that's super old. But that's all that really is left, unless we get a trash guy. Quan Alexander, man, would love to have him, but no interest. It's just the team, man. The team's not very good. We could get a corner. We could bring in a mentor corner. That is a 5, right? Jason Verrett, maybe. He's so injury prone. None of these guys are mentor anyways. Free safety, Marcus Epps. Nick Scott wants to play for us. He could be a nice slot corner. I'm going to throw out an offer to him. He wants a 2 year, so he finished his career with us. Honestly, just offer him that. I think I'm going to draft a kicker as well, by the way. So, just thought I might put that out there. Kicker-wise, I think we could just draft one. Just being honest. Hopefully we get Andy Dalton. I think I'm going to conclude free agency here. I think we're going to hop into the draft and kind of talk it through what we're going to do. So let's sim to the draft. See what we can find. Hopefully a good player. Hopefully Brady Knight is who we think he is. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that we trade down. But I think I'm going to take him. So let's go ahead and pause the draft. And let's see. Is this the guy we want? We traded up for him. I really think this is the pick. Regardless if he's top 5 or not. I think there's a lot of great prospects here. I really do. I think there are a ton of great players. But I think this quarterback is going to end up being extremely good. Brady Knight, Jackson State quarterback. I mean, elite in almost all categories, except for change of direction and throw power. He got first in all those. This could be a weak QB class, but Brady Knight is going to be our quarterback for this franchise as of now. And I'm not going to be looking at the picks. Takes the fun out of it. I'm going to go ahead and sim to the second round. Not really attached to any of the guys anyways, or I would show who's getting picked where. So the next draft will definitely be longer. Now we're picking in the second round. One of the safeties I like this year. I think this is a strong safety class. No pun intended. Sean Overton is a guy I've been looking at. I feel like he's honestly pretty good. but these guys are projected ahead of him. Damian Whitlock. I don't think he's as good, but whatever. He is 22, however. Stats don't look as good. This may be a trade down moment here. Unless Jeremiah George, the 6'2" safety out of Wisconsin, is just really good. A-hit power. Solid all over. So, I say we trade down here. And pick whoever's available. I was mostly concerned about getting that quarterback. From here on out, I don't know enough as a first-year head coach. Really anything to accumulate a bunch of picks is what I want. A first rounder, I will take that. Rams want somebody here. Does hurt us a little bit not being able to pick, but I think it's for the best. Don't know a whole lot about these prospects. Don't necessarily want to take a whole lot of chances on these guys, as I feel like our team is okay anyways. Next year will be better. And see if anybody dropped to us. That would be nice, wouldn't it? As maybe the draft is messed up. It is not. What do we want? Well, Will Dockery. There was a Dockery in the league for a while. Or it was actually Darnell Dockett. Honestly, Will Dockery looks... Not going to say it. He doesn't look good. I lied. Zay Farrow. It's honestly such a cool name. But Marquez Torrance. He's got good press, good zone. 22 years old, 5'9". Great on a couple things. I'm going to take a chance on him. If he's normal dev, I don't know how much of an upset that necessarily is, being that we are in the middle of the third. I'm just not sure the defensive tackle was that great. And we'll remember the name. We have almost 2 back-to-back picks. Raiders pick in between us here. Dockery is still here. Very tempting. DeAndre Smith is here. Strong safety. 22 years old, run support. He is so bad. He is very bad. So now, got to go to the drawing board here. What do we want? Nicholas Overstreet is a very cool name. I think we trade down here. I don't think there's a prospect here that we should go for. And I don't hate the idea of a trade down. I think we could accumulate some picks for next year, or potentially just move some picks for later in this draft, build some depth within this team. I've got a pick here in just a minute anyways. A third rounder from the Bengals being offered to us, moving up in the draft and into next year. I think the Niners will be the worst out of these guys, so we're going to take that deal. Niners move into the 4th round this year. We move into the 3rd round next year. Anytime you can hop into the next round of a draft, I think that just makes sense. So I am going to go ahead and shop this pick. The Bengals still want to do a deal for their 3rd. I think the Bengals are going to be worse than the Chiefs. Maybe a fall off from the Chiefs. We'll prey on their downfall. We're going to get another third next year. And that'll be material to move up for a guy that we potentially want, as Chiefs going to pick back-to-back there. And we don't pick till the 6th round. Going to be getting a rookie kicker, by the way. Don't know if y'all knew that. 6th round, maybe a running back here. Just depends on who all is available. I don't hate the idea of Maurice Mackey. I've been looking at him. He is 24 years old. Well, he looks okay. We'll take him. I mean, he's 24. Like, that's kind of bad, but is what it is. We need depth. I want to run some man covers this year. As we pick at the top of the 7th. Really have not done anything offensively. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I truly don't know. Sidney Barrett is here. A lot of corners still. Lorenzo Witherspoon, 6'5", 307 run stopper. Oh, he looks like he has intangibles. I'm gonna take him. I don't think he might not be very good. But man, it's the 6th round. These guys are really just gonna be depth players. But I like the size on him, honestly. Like, I think he's got great size. Run stopper archetype. Man, I'll take it. Like, I don't think that's a bad pick. Last pick here in the draft. Gonna check out the kickers. Doesn't look like there's necessarily a kicker here. We could check out Forbes, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there's a good kicker in this draft. He looks to be very mediocre. Don't necessarily want to check out these guys. I would maybe check out Christian Buckley. See if he's any good. Again, guys, just elite agility for a kicker. Like, what are we doing? Are there any running backs that we could take? Running backs looked very bad. All probably UDFA guys. That's disappointing. However, Swinton looks pretty good. I've drafted so many DBs, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to draft him. We probably should draft an offensive lineman, if we're being truthful. I do like size. I see a 6'7" guy, 6'8". Harvey Parks. Jeez, man. Parker Simmons has good stats here. What are we doing? Is this guy okay? 6'3", 23. Whoa, this guy might be good. Middle of the 7th round? Did we just find a hidden gem? We might have. So here's what we do now. A lot of talking through this draft. I'll leave this part unedited. But let's go ahead, do draft recap. We're going to see our quarterback regardless. But I am going to click off. Kitchens, 74 overall corner. Let's sort by speed. I'm going to see my QB. Okay. So he is a 76. There was a 98 speed receiver at the top of the 2nd. Holy cow. Only normal dev, but that dude is a speedster. Whoa. Okay. I wonder if there were any generational guys in this draft. Let's go ahead and check. Who's the highest overall? Von Dowling. I wasn't even looking at him, so that makes me feel good, honestly. Don't think there's a generational guy in here. USF rookie, 92 speed, 95 excel. Pretty much looks well-rounded. Vikings getting, obviously, another very good receiver to pair with Justin Jefferson. Good for them, man. He is a X factor. I don't know if that's necessarily a generational receiver, though. I don't know if he meets the overall requirement. I think he does. He's close. Broderick Bernard, he was another guy I did consider. 21 hidden development, 93 speed. What's his change of direction? We don't know, do we? That's fine. This guy, if I had to guess, superstar. I think he's probably a superstar, if not X Factor. I don't think he's going to be just a star. He is just a star. I'm an idiot. I hope we did decent in the draft because we didn't make a whole lot of picks. Was there anybody else that I really looked at? I was interested in Kitchens a little bit. I liked the name more than anything. He's hidden dev, 22 out of Virginia Tech. 94 speed. His coverage stats are not very good. Watch me say star here, and he's superstar X Factor. So I'm gonna go meet myself in the middle, superstar. He is a superstar. That's pretty good. Let's go check out some stats. So there's some pretty fast guys in this draft. I would really like to see throw power. Who's the best throw power in this draft? Addison McBride. Sean Henry. Sean Henry was late. Addison McBride for the Eagles. Okay, he's not good. Okay, that's good to know. Any big hitters in this draft class before we go ahead and check out who we got? I bet it's a safety. Is this a 6'4" linebacker? Oh no. I wanted this guy. He's normal dev. Okay, it is a 6'4" linebacker. He honestly looks so good. He would be a perfect guy to dev up, honestly. But let's go ahead and just check out and see what we got as our first draft as the head coach and GM. Ooh, not looking very good. Actually, honestly, like down the board, that's not terrible. So Brady Knight, I think we're gonna leave him for the last portion. We've got a 63 overall center in the 7th round. I don't think that's terrible. He is normal dev. Honestly thought he was going to be a lot better. But again, 7th round pick. What do you expect? Lorenzo Witherspoon, a little disappointed with his overall. He will not probably see the field unless injuries happen. Just how it is. Maurice Mackey, 91 speed, 89 excel. So he is fast. That's kind of what I expected from him. He is 24. To be honest with you, he is not very good. So, is what it is. Depth guy. Marquez Torrance, I was hoping he was a little bit better. 3rd round, 68 overall. Not terrible, not good. He is hidden development though. That changes everything. 5'9", 22 years old. The coverage stats are not good. But with hidden dev, it says we have a franchise quarterback. Does that mean that he is hidden dev? Oh, he is. He is hidden dev. I'm going to change up his face and everything. Alright, charismatic, scrambling QB, ideal sense of pressure, aggressive forcing passes, tight spiral, 92 throw power, accuracy, 78, 79, 81, 76 awareness, 85 throw on the run. He's got 93 speed and 88 change of direction. Pretty healthy as well. Motivations, scheme fit, head coach win percentage. He is a franchise quarterback. He could be a superstar or X Factor. We're going to go ahead and set him as a captain, man. So we got our quarterback of the future. If he's a star, honestly, I think we could dev him up. I think he looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and sim to the offseason. Or out of the offseason. And I'm going to go ahead and check to see if he is an X Factor. This is how we're going to check. He is an X Factor quarterback. Marquez Torrance, probably star dev, but there is potentiality that he is a superstar. But we did draft Brady Knight, a superstar X Factor quarterback. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn on notifications for the next video. We'll be playing week 1. I will skip the preseason. We'll be playing the Cardinals. But yes, we've got our franchise quarterback, Brady Knight. Dude pretty awesome. I'm going to change them up a little bit, make them look better. But I will go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Peace.